Hi, this is Mike Durr, the Kingwood Mortgage Guy, and what I wanted to do with you today is I wanted to go over my 2012 version of Refinance Math. Now, I did this video and I was looking at it today because somebody asked me to send them a video that I've done on refinancing, and I thought, you know what, it's time to do that one again because there's some new stuff in there. So here's what I'm going to cover. First, how long do you plan to stay in your home is a big factor on whether you refinance or not. So that's one. Number two, how much in interest payments will you save? This is a good way to calculate it. Number three is, what is the real cost of doing a refinance? And four, what are the benefits of refinancing? And five, should you reduce your term? And in most cases, that answer is going to be an easy one. And then six, what are the negatives of refinancing? So let's start with number one. First thing, I want you to think about refinancing as an investment, okay? Just like if somebody came to you and said, Mike, I want you to invest in an oil well. And well, here's the deal. You're going to give me $10,000 as your initial investment, and then from here until the well runs out, we're going to pay you $300 a month. And it's pretty easy to calculate that because after 3 years, you're going to start getting all your money back. And the truth is, when you see how much you're going to make, it depends on how long the oil lasts, and of course the price of oil and that kind of stuff. But you get the analogy. It's an investment. There is going to be some money out of pocket. It's usually only $395 or $400 for the appraisal. But then the way that you want to do that is you've got to make sure that you're going to be in the house long enough to recoup the investment that you've made. Okay, so that's number one. Number two is Dave Ramsey calculates if you should save money or how you're going to save money by doing it this way. Let's say that you've got a 5.5% interest rate today, and you can get it down to 3.5%, which today are really, those are real numbers. So under that math, you're saving 2%, and let's just say that it's a modest loan of $100,000. You would save $2,000 a year by refinancing and saving those 2 points. 2% times $100,000, you save $2,000. If the mortgage closing costs cost $4,000, then all you have to do is you have to be in that loan for 2 years before you've paid back your investment, and every payment after that, you're saving money. So I think that that's a good way to look at it too. The third thing I wanted to tell you about is the real cost. People don't calculate the real cost of doing a refinance correctly. Here's the way it should be done. First off, you've got lender cost, lender fees, and then you've got title company fees. And then you've got your tax and insurance escrows. Now those are all costs, but you should really only consider the lender fees and the rate and the title company fees, because those are going to be hard new costs to you. The tax and insurance escrows, which end up being a pretty substantial portion of the closing fees, those you're going to pay anyway. Those are not, I don't think you should consider those in a refinance, because the money that you're going to be spending over and above is going to be your lender fees and your title company fees. Now you can argue with me all you want, but call me and we'll talk about it. All right, benefits of refinancing. Well, there's a couple things. First thing, and probably the important one, is more of the money that comes out of your pocket and goes to pay your mortgage is going to pay more principal than interest in most cases. And particularly if it's a good refinance, you're going to be paying a lot more principal than you're paying right now. And of course that means that you're going to pay your loan off faster in most cases. Or you just, bottom line, you're going to pay less interest. Now, when you're paying less interest, you're paying less profit to the investor. And I think that's a good thing. So you're paying yourself back. The second thing that a lot of people like is that you're taking 2 full months off of making mortgage payments. Now this can really be helpful if you're on a tight budget, and this would, well, just think about it. You don't have to make 2 of the biggest expenses that you have during the month for 2 months. That's a good thing. And then 3, if you had an existing escrow account, you're also going to be able to get all the money that's in your escrow account back as you build a new one. So you're going to get a nice lump sum after about 30 days of consummating the refinance. So this is a very positive thing. So I think that the positives, if it makes sense, are pretty darn good. Now, here's the deal. The other thing I said is, should you shorten your term? And I'm a big Dave Ramsey fan. I believe if you can afford to reduce your term, do it. And here's an example. Let's say that your payment is $800 a month, just your principal and interest today. And if you pay that same amount with today's interest rates, you're going to shorten your term for sure. So you make the same payment, you're just going to pay it over the course of less years. You're going to save thousands of dollars, I mean tens of thousands of dollars in interest savings that would have gone to the investor. So it's a good idea. What are the negatives? Well, the negatives are that for some reason, after you refinance and you're saving enough money to make sense, that you have to move before you've paid back the money that you invested. That's the only thing I can think of as the negative. So anyway, if you want to find out more information specifically about your particular housing mortgage rate, what you can do, I want you to call me. I mean, the rules are so varied and vast that there's no way we can explain everything. Just gave you a kind of a big window to look at. And for a lot of people right now, if you haven't refinanced and your rate's over 5%, it's probably a good idea. This is Mike Durr. My phone number is going to be right up there. I hope you call. Look forward to talking to you. It's Mike.